Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with another Disabled Vet's Perspective, and I wanted to take a few minutes to put my 2.5 cents in on this little address that was given by Mr. Trump this morning on on his knee-jerk reaction and plan for this FF event that happened down south, and he's falling onto the emotional bandwagon, and I think his suggestions are a little dangerous, but I want to get mine in there. I listened to American Joe this morning. He made some good points. I can very much understand his frustration. I share it. If you're not subscribed to American Joe, please take a minute and do that. Also, I was listening to my girl Deb over there at Truthification Chronicles, another one that you should subscribe to. She pointed out some tweets that were put out yesterday by I believe he's a government watchdog guy that just kind of keeps an eye on things. And interestingly enough, these tweets were announcing that plans were made for meetings on new gun legislation and things like that the day before the event happened in Texas, in El Paso. Did I say Florida before? I may have. There's so many of them. I meant El Paso. But anyway, interestingly enough, these people are planning gun legislation and new bills to be proposed the day before an event like this, and they're talking about recalling the Congress so that they can get these things jammed through real quick. Since everybody's on recess, they want to get them back in under the roof of the Capitol building. And there's a little more to that than most people might realize. Yeah, they want to recall them because when these idiots are in recession, when they are back home with their constituents or hiding from them in some cases, they're not apt for arrest. They can't be, once they're seated, they cannot be dragged out with an indictment or arrest. They have to be in recess. So I can guarantee you that part of the reason they want to bring everybody back is because they want to get them back under the protection of their rules so that they can't be arrested or indicted for the crimes that they've committed. So what a way to do that. Have an event, recall everybody, get them back under the protection of the Capitol building, and then thumb their nose at the prosecutors that are hunting them. So that's my thought on that. It may be wrong, but I have a feeling it is not. But in the address from President Trump, come on, Pop, sitting here waiting on you. In that address, President Trump says that he wants to go after video games and stop the violent video games. And here's the deal with that. They already have ratings on them. NC-17, R, T, all these different ratings that are supposed to be there to protect the young people from stuff that may be beyond their age group, or that they can't separate reality from fiction at certain ages. So it's a desensitization. It desensitizes, easy for me to say, it desensitizes these children to violence, aggression, bloodshed. The same type of thing is done in the military when you are going through your live fire training exercises and things. They use real world events to get you used to doing things and take away some of the emotion that might come with doing those things. You start to act on instinct as opposed to emotion. And that's basically what happens with these violent video games. So he wants to do more restrictions on the video games, but you have to talk to the parents that are allowing their kids to do this kind of stuff. Because it's not the kids, they can't buy the stuff. It's the parents and say, oh, well, he's fine, he understands the difference. Well, if adults can be desensitized by going through live fire training exercises with targets of all age and description, you do reach a point where you react without emotion or restriction. So if it can happen with adults, it can definitely happen with children. So anyway, that was that part of it. Well, then he brought up the removal of the bump stock. Well, I think the bump stock is stupid. Once you start spraying bullets, you lose the ability to control where the rounds go. So automatic weapons are supposed to be used for suppression fire. You want to give somebody an opportunity to move in a combat zone, so you turn that sucker to rapid or auto and you cut loose. You spray a bunch of rounds downrange. It keeps the enemy's head down. As soon as the movement is over and your colleague is in his next safe spot, you turn the thing back over to semi and you use it one round at a time. One shot, one kill. That's what they teach you. So auto is only suppression fire. So people that say, oh, well, I like the bump stock because it allows me to put a lot of rounds downrange. Well, maybe it sounds good, but again, this is my opinion. I just think the bump stock is stupid. But it should not have a restriction on it, because shall not be infringed is the last line in the Second Amendment. So infringed means in any way. They already have a law in the books that you can't have automatic weapons, so technically the bump stock was illegal anyway. I mean, if we want to skip the shall not be infringed part. The reality is we should be able to have every weapon that our military has, because the whole idea of a well-armed militia is so that the government never reaches a position where they can overpower the people that own the government. And yes, we own it, because it's not a democracy, it's a constitutional republic. We are the owners, they are the employees. They think they're in control and in power, but they're not. They just protect themselves with bogus laws, and someday that's got to be put in check. But anyway, so that's the bump stock. That is the attack on the games. But then here's the one that really gets me. The red flag laws. Oh, there's no chance these can be abused. Ugh, this is insane. That what they're doing is they're with a red flag law, they will be infringing on your First, your Second, your Fourth, and technically your Fifth Amendments. Because you have no say. You have anybody who doesn't like you, who gets mad at you, who sees your videos and disagrees with you, can say, oh, I saw this guy brandishing a weapon. I think he's dangerous. I have fear for my life, and I think he's going to do something. Well, then you get your door kicked in, so there's your Fourth. You get the people coming in with their universal key, knocking your door off the hinges, so you have damage to your house. They come inside, they give you a warrant to search and seize your weapons, but you have not committed a crime. You have committed a minority report, which is pre-crime. So they come in the house, they rummage through everything. Who knows if they break stuff? They don't care. But they collect up the guns and then tell you, okay, we'll see you in court. Well, if you're broke, if you are broke-ass white trash like I am, how the hell do I afford court? How the hell does anybody afford court? Because they don't have to do shit. You have to defend yourself. You have committed a crime that is non-existent. So now you have to get a defense attorney. You have to go to court. You have to do all these things as if you are a criminal. when you have done nothing. So the red flag laws are a precursor to a massive gun grab. And the conservatives will say, in the ones that are elected, will say, oh, well, we'll monitor it so that it doesn't have the chance for abuse. We'll make sure everybody gets their due process. Well, again, you have to be able to afford your due process. And it can take a year to get them back once you have them taken. So you're defenseless for a year if somebody catches word that you have been swatted and they know your house is defenseless, then you also become a target for potential crime. But anyway, so it takes up to a year. Conservatives will say, well, we'll protect it. Well, with all the ballot stuffing and the illegal voting and everything that goes along with it, the changes that are being made to the Electoral College, all these little tricks that are being done by the left so that they can gain power in 2020. Well, the answer to the conservatives is you may not be in power. So once you lose power, how do you keep control of how the red flag laws are used? I don't agree with them. I think they're horseshit. I'm truly offended that this is something that they're going with, because we have our rights, damn it. And they aren't rights that the government decides we get. That's just not how it works. They are God-given rights. They are ours. They are ours at birth. The government is simply an entity of interference in the pursuit of our rights, our liberty, our happiness. It's ridiculous, but the red flag laws have to be fought against. You've got to call your congressmen, your representatives. You have to call these people, and you got to tell them this has got to stop, because patriots are getting pissed. We felt like we had a supreme warrior in the White House that will look after our constitutional rights, and we get one of these events that looks very choreographed that happens in El Paso. And then all of a sudden, a knee-jerk reaction, the emotions flare, and let's just take everybody's rights. Then we'll all be happy again. Well, it doesn't work that way. So I'm trying to be nice in this video, and I know it's going a little long, but I am truly disgusted. I live in Florida, where the red flag law has already been introduced, and I plan on calling Matt Gaetz, my representative, and I plan on calling Ron DeSantis tomorrow, or today, actually, this afternoon. So I'm going to let them know that I'm pretty pissed about this, and that they've got to get off our rights. They've got to quit this shit, because patriots are losing their patience. And when that happens, obviously bad things happen. I mean, if everything gets blamed on the patriots anyway, why would the patriots continue to stand down? If they're going to get the blame for this stuff, why not just do it? So it's just, we're trying to be cool about it, but losing our patience. Anyway, I know it was long. If you guys like what I have to say, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, try to tell your friends about me, hit the little bell, see if you can get some notifications, and make sure you call your representatives, because it's up to us, because they're obviously not on our side, so we have to show them that we have the numbers to make the change. Numbers are easily obtained for these representatives. You just look them up online or any way you need to do it, but call them, tell them it's time. But until next time, y'all, stay in the fight.